Hey there, Taurus. Alright, so we're going to get right into it. Okay, this is from the middle of April till the end of April. This is your How to Find Love spread. And we're just going to go right into it because I know last time I did some pretty long intros. I just wanted to say thanks. And yeah, an attitude of gratitude I think is a good thing to have. So, well, there you go. Alright, so let's focus here. This is Taurus, 2018, mid-April to the end of April, How to Find Love. And what this reading is basically going to be focusing on is how to find love. What's blocking us to finding love? What are we having a hard time processing? What are we having a difficult time seeing in ourselves? And basically going from there. So we're just looking at what's blocking us in love. Alright, so our first card. I have to clear my throat with authority because I just have to. Okay. So first card. This card represents you and the issues surrounding you. Okay? So we get the Four of Wands in reverse. So normally this card is a card about celebration. This card is a card about kind of achieving something that you didn't think you would be able to achieve. How can I put this? It's a card of celebration, kind of like graduation, celebration, those kinds of things. But when it's in reverse, I see it as being a very, kind of like a difficult time that you're going through. It's kind of like, I feel like something happened with you guys that you knew, excuse me, you knew it was a bad thing. Okay, how can I put this? You knew you had to get rid of whatever was going on, but it still hurt that you had to get rid of it. And so now that it's gone, it's kind of like a hollow victory. So that could be dealing with someone in your life who was a narcissist, or that could be doing something like that. Dealing with people that you thought would be there, but they're not there for you anymore. And sort of like getting rid of the poison, or getting rid of the sort of tumor in your life, but now you're in the recovery phase and it kind of hurts and it's kind of rough for you right now. So that's what I'm seeing. It's like getting rid of something that no longer was serving you, but when you did that, it really hurt. And so, yeah, that's kind of a tough thing to go through. Sort of like the surgery before you get well. It kind of hurts a little bit, but then you feel better. So that's kind of where I'm seeing that you guys are at right now. And we're going to be looking at how that relates to love here too. So the second card here, this card represents your behavioral patterns that are influencing your love life. Okay, and I get the Seven of Wands in reverse. So another wand in reverse. So definitely I do feel that there's some fire energy here. When it's in reverse, this could also be a loss of like sexual drive and passion as well. So this could be something like that. Or you could be feeling a lack of interest in things that once interested you. You could be feeling depressed, lackadaisical, melancholy, that kind of a thing. Because this was a hard thing for you to go through. At least, I mean, that's what I'm seeing it as. So when we look at behavioral patterns and things like that, when I see the Seven of Wands in reverse, that to me, normally when it's upright, it's like looking inside of yourself and finding out what makes you tick kind of a thing. When it's in reverse though, I feel like there's a refusal to look within because you're scared of what you might find. Because you're fearful of what might come up. There's this sense of hiding from ourselves because we're scared of either what we're truly capable of, or we're scared that we're monsters beyond reason. And every damn time, we're not monsters, okay? We just hurt, and that's what that is. That fear is hurt. That fear is pain. And looking at that pain, that's where the fear comes from. Because when we look at the pain, we acknowledge it. When we acknowledge the pain, then we have to do something about it, and we don't know what to do. And that's where the fear comes from, okay? So what's interesting with this, and we're going to move on to the cards here, but what's interesting with pain, what's interesting with fear, is that when we look at it and we acknowledge it, it actually starts to diminish a little bit. And that's because we're acknowledging a part of us that was in pain for so long. We're starting to be like, okay, I see you're in pain. So what can I do? And what happens when it starts to get rid of itself a little bit is we start to integrate that part of ourselves back into ourselves. we have to understand where the pain is coming from. And if we haven't looked for a while, it's kind of like going in and untangling emotional wires. Have you ever had like a bunch of headphones smacked together? They're like all together and all clumped together, right? And you have to go in and you have to untangle a bunch of cords. Okay, that's kind of what we're doing emotionally. And what we have to do when we're untangling these cords is we have to be looking at ourselves from a perspective of love. And that's a hard thing to do. But when we look at it from a perspective of love versus a perspective of frustration, or like, why do I feel this way, or anything like that, what happens is that we can look at things more objectively, and we can understand that we were actually hurt when we felt this, and it's okay to be hurt over things, no matter what it is. If you were offended by it, if you were hurt by something, you need to express it, and you need to show it, you need to let it out in that way. And so that's why there's that fear. That's why there's that frustration building up, okay? And if we move on from that, I'm going to draw some more cards here, you guys. But let's look at our third card here. So the third card, this card represents the areas that need further growth in order for you to find love, okay? And so we get the Ace of Pentacles. So what we need to do in order to find love is we need to work on that foundation, right? We need to plant the seed that is the start of us, and we need to work on that. So that doesn't mean becoming a new person or anything like that. What it means, though, is that we need to look at the behaviors that we've been doing so far, and we need to sort of evaluate that. And just give me a second here. So how I see it is, because this card literally is about growth. I mean, if you look at that, it's a tree stump, and you can see growing, and you can see a seed in the middle there. And you can see something getting ready to grow, something ready to burst forth. And so how I see this is that we need to incorporate the fact that we're going to change and we're going to grow into ourselves. And for Tauruses, that's particularly difficult because change for an earth sign is already hard. But if you add the fact that changing is kind of something that's viewed as bad a lot of the time in our society, the way we view ourselves, changing is viewed as death. Changing is viewed as something's wrong, and so I had to change it. And with that attitude, it makes it seem like we're giving up. When we change ourselves, it feels like we're giving up, or we're failing, or we're trying to not take blame for something. You know what I mean? Like, changing yourself and growing is actually a very good thing because it means that we're becoming something better. It means we're evolving. The opposite of that is stagnation, and that energy is not something that we can just sit and feel anymore. You guys have felt that. You felt the call to do something more. You felt the call to look within yourselves. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching these videos. It's as simple as that. So, with that being said, though, there's definitely an energy in you that needs to grow. There's this energy in you that needs to blossom and come forth, and you know what it is. Okay? Well, like I said, we just have to look within, and we have to understand ourselves. Alright. So, the fourth card here. This card represents the areas you need to change or process in order to find love. And we get the Ten of Cups. So, this is an interesting one for me to read. The Ten of Cups is one of my favorite cards. Obviously because it's a 10 card, it's a cup card, all that good stuff, but it's also really pretty. I mean, if I do this, you guys can look at that. It's just fun to look at. I like the rainbow colors. Who doesn't like rainbow colors? Okay. But to me, so what we need to change and process to find love is that we need to step out of our own way to find happiness. And what that means is not judging ourselves on what that looks like, but letting ourselves experience it. A lot of times, Tauruses, me, other people, different signs, okay? A lot of times we'll judge ourselves on our journey of life. And when we do that, we kill the creative prospect of growing or of evolving because we kind of make fun of ourselves or belittle ourselves or whatever because what we're experiencing doesn't seem like it's a big deal, or what we're going through doesn't seem like it's hard, or what we're doing doesn't seem like it's fun, or whatever. Like, we go through these different processes that we go through. And with the Ten of Cups here, I feel like we need to stop analyzing and we need to start living. So we don't analyze the past or the future. Instead, we live in the now. And when we do that, that's when great things start to happen, right? So the way I like to think of it is this. The past is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Okay, and I like that. And I by no means made that up. I think I heard it off of Kung Fu Panda, but it's relevant, okay? But that is true. We need to focus on ourselves, we need to focus on self-love, and we need to get out of our own way.